Welcome to Next Level eCommerce, the webinar series where top e-commerce experts share their advanced tips and tricks.
Yes, welcome everyone. It's already the third Next Level e-commerce of this year. And actually we're building and building because we have more and more coming up. So that's really nice. And actually, I think this is the first time we actually have a guest in that was already here before. Actually, last time still is record breaking in terms of registrants as well. So then we all know he's providing the value. And I would say he also brings a topic, of course, that is dear to our hearts because we do quite a bit with feed management, amongst others, but also to show a bit of where and how it can impact um, is actually something I would like you to do. So maybe you don't know the exact number, but think for yourself about what your current ad spend is. Take 10% of it and just think in your head approximately on how much that actually would be. Multiply that number by 2, and then probably you have approximately in your head on how much revenue or budget you're actually talking about. So imagine you would have that extra budget to spend into your campaigns, which would be quite a bit, right? That's kind of also what CSS does. So that would be actually our next topic as well. But it's not about CSS itself, but actually comparing on what feed quality can actually do. And we have seen multiple cases where actually improving your feed quality. And of course, it really depends on where your feed currently is at, because if it's already really being optimized, then it might be less of a benefit that you get out of it. But we actually have seen so many examples of optimizing titles, descriptions, and including certain fields, that it actually brings more value and more KPIs and performance than by actually adding this 20%. And as you now probably have some number in your head, it's quite a lot of money. And if we look through accounts, and actually if I look through the accounts with my team, we always see underutilized feeds. One, because I do think a lot of people don't feel it's sexy to work on, because they all would like to work on these structures and advanced things that we actually see coming by. Where actually here it's the most easy thing you can do. And yeah, there are a lot of quick tips that Ruben will also give you, and also to show you the importance actually of it. But hopefully that already gives you a bit of an edge on what we're talking about and what we're going to talk about today. But of course, we have Ruben for it that can actually explain it way better than we do. So we're really happy to have him here. And as said, so it's the third of the year, but as you can see, we have a lot of different topics already. So we of course would like to know on where your challenge sits right now, as well as we always want to know on how we can actually help you and what content would actually help you to become better in your day-to-day job. And of course, that would be something that you're actually struggling in. But apart from that, we have a lot of good content material already. So if you would like to know more about advanced bucketing for PMAX, then Ruben actually did a great story last time. If you want to know more about feed management, we had actually Andrew Lolk talking about that in a previous session as well, with some other insights. We have a lot about search, and that's actually all on our website on Next Level e-commerce, and we're building this. And we're actually going to build it out further so that you can always find the things you're actually looking for from top specialists in the market with practical tips to actually make sure you can directly implement it. And that's, of course, also what we do. So we connect you with the different specialists, but we also are connecting with the various channels. So if you haven't checked it out, we also have actually a nice example for you on where we can have a look on how you can perform better there as well. And we do have some house rules. So as we always say, we have a guest here that invested quite a lot of time to provide value for you. So the one thing we actually ask you to do is probably there's Slack open or any other chat function you're using. Your email's open. You're probably distracted by a lot of things. But if you really want to enjoy the value, then we also ask you to be here and to listen to what Ruben has to say, because this is actually where you can make this impact. And probably by answering that email, it won't actually give you this 20% budget. And of course, it's also not something we promise, but it's at least a direction where you can get to. We always try to end on 45, but it could be that it takes a bit longer. And we record everything, and you will have the recording by Monday. So if you don't have time to stay anymore, all good because you will get the recording. But at least know that we're trying to give you as much value as possible and not skip too much time because of time constraints. Then, if you have any questions, please leave them in the questions tab. So we have a chat functionality and a questions tab. In the questions tab, we actually use to answer the Q&A, which is important because there you can upvote. So the most upvoted questions and the most relevant questions we'll actually ask to Ruben. And besides that, we might not be able to answer all the questions, but we will actually leave all the questions and answers within our Reddit channel. So if you really would like to know more about it, you have the link here below, and you can actually join Reddit and our community to actually be there and also learn from the answers and the questions that are actually asked. And then I think it's time to introduce our guest, and therefore I would like to give the floor to Jochem.
Yes, hello everyone. I'll keep the introduction short because Ruben is here for the second time already, and I think everyone knows him. He's already 20 years in the field. He worked in different agencies. Then now he actually created his own agency, Task Force. He's very active on LinkedIn, sharing a lot of e-commerce tips and tricks. He's also very active within the Channable product team, also always testing out new features. And one of those features he's actually showing today. So really looking forward to that. Very welcome, Ruben, and I'll give you the floor.
Wow, that's a big introduction, guys. Thank you for that. I hope to fill the shoes, of course. Very excited to be here for the second time. And let's dive directly into it because we have limited time. So I would like to share what we're trying to do today. So let's get started. I will quickly walk you through what we covered today, so you know exactly what to expect. So first we start with the basics and AI fundamentals, because before you jump in advanced setup, it's critical to understand how the system actually works, of course, which signals matter and which AI really adds value versus where it doesn't. So for the most of us, is this clear, of course, but in many cases, we see it going wrong either way. After that, we move into the visual and image optimization. I think it's a very crucial part that often is missed out or people doesn't invest their time in. But you often can make the difference within the shopping results to work on it. So basically on that, and finally we go to in a more advanced case. It's a case from our client MediSafe. It's a medical retailer here in Europe. Actually, it's selling globally, but we'll dive into that later. But specifically, how we leverage self-learning product feed system that improve the performance over time itself. So it was a pretty advanced case. Our consultant Casper has built it in the past, and we improve it over time, and we have run it, actually running it right now for, I think, at least half a year. So we have cool results out of that, so that I can share, and maybe I can inspire you guys to build a similar setup. So today it's not only theory. I would like to show real examples in the field, how we have put it in the place for our clients. Of course, the goal of by the end of the session, you don't just understand the concept, but you also see how it actually apply within your own setup. And of course, you can ask questions later. As Jules already said, we can, if there isn't time enough, we can do it on Reddit. So I think that's pretty cool. There's also a poll, and in this case, what we actually know in this case is that the product feed optimization part is often utilized, or there isn't enough time for it. So we are really excited to see in which camp you are.
Yeah, we actually already see a lot of answers coming in, Ruben.
Okay.
I think by far, so about 65% says it's decent, but there's room for improvement.
Okay, and are they telling the truth, or?
It is always a good question, right? So I would say from what we see, I think this is kind of what the truth is. So we usually see a decent setup, but there is definitely room for improvement. What we just said.
That's cool to hear in this case, because I know it's often it's touched once at the start of a collaboration with a new client, for example, or are you? I think it differ if you work for a marketing agency or if you work in house at your own company. But yeah, often what we notice if we are taking over product feeds from different agencies, I don't want to trash talk them, of course. But yeah, we know that feeds are set in place once, and maybe they are looked over once or twice a year. And I think the most important thing to enhance your setup is by modifying your product feed and test with it different ways. So if you look at what we see in this case is often deprioritized because there are often many things to do if you work in a Google Ads account. This is not only for Google Ads accounts, of course, also for Meta and other channels. But what we often see is that the time the people are giving, the managers are giving, are going to campaign setups or maybe to adjust ad copy or maybe tweak some a bit adjustment. That's sort of stuff. And I think that is in this case not the right way to approach it. So what we notice if we taking over accounts from other agencies or maybe from clients that are managing it themselves is that 8 out of 10 feeds the feeds aren't sufficient enough, that are missing attributes, crucial attributes, because often if clients use product feeds from their suppliers, for example, they are pretty much basic, of course, in many ways, and every retailer uses the same product feed. So there are no differentiations within reseller 1 and reseller 2. So I think this is often the biggest point where you can make the difference for within your account. And in this case, we also see that the product data is always too weak to steer the algorithm the right way and to push the best results possible for your client or for your manager or for your boss in this case. So I like to dive into a little bit that part. It's the basics in this case and how we used to do it, how we do it right now, and I think how you should do it in the future, of course, in this case as well. So if you look at the product attributes, I think I wouldn't have to explain to anybody here, but the optimized titles, of course, increase your visibility. And of course, if you increase your visibility, if you improve your relevancy, of course, the conversion rate also will rise also within that part. So the optimized titles and descriptions are the most important. If you look at these points I have put on this slide, it's not based on the most important at the top, but because this is a nice way to show it, we did it this way. But I think next to optimized titles and descriptions, the product type is most important, because the product type is when you give a signal to the algorithm, of course, which kind of product you sell. To let Google know which product it is. So it's always good to have the most specific, within your categorization of your web shop in this case. It's always, always the best to do it so deep as possible. And you can do it, of course, with AI as well. Often what is not utilized in this case in the source is in this example. It's an example of a client of ours. It's a pretty big reseller or manufacturer of sporting supplements, and you can see of just in this example, what is often the same within other accounts, that the lifestyle images are missing, or the product highlights are missing as well. Product details, that are all attributes that are way important to show your to let the algorithm know which kind of product you sell, what the highlights of the products are, of course, and if you have an visual in one of the mix, you can also show, of course, the benefits of the product. And I think that's often unutilized in those campaigns in that part. So I think if you have that in place, you are already a big step further than the most of your competitors. And of course, there are attributes like cost of goods sold, but that's more for internally to drive your system with the margins and your advanced budgeting, for example. So of course, there are if you look at the next slide, you can see how we do it. In back in the days, we try to fill it as much as possible with rules. So this is one of the examples what it could look like. But if you go to the next slide, then this is one of the setups from a client of ours, how we did it back in the day. So you have a cluster of rules. It was necessary to enhance certain attributes, and it's often pretty difficult to see if you change something in which rule it actually is. Now there are of course some tips and tricks for that, but I think nowadays it's a little bit easier to do it with AI, of course. And of course that's are we here talking about today. So what we like to do nowadays for our clients is to utilize the new feature within Channable, of course. So I'm not here to kissing butts from Channable. I like to do it, but that's not the way I roll in this case. But locally, our hosts of today have worked on the feature that could save a lot of time for us. So we use the AI enrichment for that. So you can use this feature pretty easily to enhance your attributes in this case. Now it's also available for titles and descriptions, what is helping us a lot. That's a feature that is rolled out recently. So we are heavily testing this for our clients, of course, so that it can replace our bulky rules in the past. And first you can filter your products, of course, which products you want to use. And then you can connect your connect your LLM to it. In this case, it's only limited by Gemini, but in the future, Jochem mentioned that it's also possible with other LLMs. I don't know when, but maybe Jochem can talk about that later. But for now, we connect Gemini to our account, and we have a basic prompt with our knowledge from the past decades to put it in the prompt and send it over to the algorithm. And then you can see also in the next slide that you can enhance your titles pretty easily without using heavy bulky rules to do that. So in this example, it's from a Beko washing machine. So basically on the right is the default title we got from the supplier, from our client, and on the left you can see what the AI does to it. It says, for example, the washing machine, of course, that is where people are looking for. You want to put it a little bit more upfront in your upfront in your title. But in this case, it basically created a pretty decent title to work with, and it's pretty cool if you ask me. So this is an example how it shows. It's for example, on the left of the one is highlighted. It's our client, the Schouw Witgoed in this case, and you can see that the title is pretty easily, pretty decent. Is adjusted to what we want in the end. So we want the brand, the product type in this case, the product variation. In this case, the ID for how much kilos you can put in the washing machine, the energy efficiency class, and the amount of spinning power he has. So in this case, this is for this type of industry. This is our standard feature, how we build up a title. It could be different of course, for different industries, but for electronics, this is our thing. And the cool part is we did adjusted all the titles. I think it was in half an hour. We have all the whole SKUs from this client. We have adjusted, so it was pretty cool. So there's not a poll. So in this case, what is currently the biggest bottleneck in scaling your Google Ads shopping performance? And if you have any results, could you share it, guys?
Yes, of course. So currently, lack of automation is leading, and there is one coming up. I would say that I would expect always to be high is weak or incomplete product data.
Yeah, that's our biggest challenge in most of the cases.
And how does AI in this case then help you preventing that? Because like I would say, like almost every account that we see, this is the challenge, right? Having really weak and incomplete product data, and there I would say AI can really help.
Yeah, that's the cool part. I think in the case study, I will also dive a little bit more into that. But of course, with the AI, you can use it to, if you have any attributes, you can use it to enrich the other attributes you're missing with the function as well. So I think that's a pretty cool feature we often use. Lack of automation. Of course, AI within the tool itself is maybe not the best way to approach it, to call it automation. But you can use AI in this case, of course, to enhance your setup and do it. But if you talk about maybe for the PPC generators within Channable, you can automate the bunch, of course, and you can you what you can think of, you can build. And I could talk about that for ages, but that's not for today. So of course, if you look at the biggest struggle we have, of course, if we build some tests within, for example, if we change the image or we change the titles, it's always a difficult part to test it validly. And of course, if we want to test some things, we're going to discuss it with the clients. We need to have a decent hypothesis. Next to it, you need to choose a testing method because you want to if you put it through before, you can do a before or after maybe a test, and it's not valid because of course you have seasonality and stuff like that. So we have come up with some different tests to do that, so I can share that. And if you look at, of course, you need to define threshold for success. If you have a decent test, or you have to put it in your hypothesis as well, because, if you don't have a clear answer when the test is a success, then you are, you're shooting with hell. So I will go to a little bit deeper in that. So and strong hypothesis should clearly define 4 core elements in our opinion. So in this case, the change. So what exactly are you changing? For example, changing the background color of a product image to a more distinctive color. I think that's a good change. You want to know the expected outcome. So what results do you want to expect to achieve? For example, in this case, we'll increase the product visibility, improve the click-through rate. Now, and if you have the rationale, so why do you believe this change will work? In this example, because the products will stand out more clearly compared to the competitors. yeah, and of course you need to have a measurable success metric. So in this case, yeah, how will it be measured and measured? So in this case, it could be an increase in CTR, or maybe an increase in ROAS or POAS, or yeah, something like that. So if you have that clear, then yeah, you can start from there. What we like to do, because there are decent ways to test within Google Ads itself. There are betas coming, but what we like to do is, if you have enough data, we used to use a Geo-Split test where we compare region A to region B, and then yeah, we will connect feed A to campaign A and feed B to campaign B, of course. But yeah, that is also not 100% valid, but you get a decent knowing about what it does. And there's a third way to, yeah, a workaround. It was developed by Marcel Small from the Roots Network, an agency in the Netherlands. So a little shout out to him. So there is a way to build experiments within Google Ads, and then you can connect it with the PPC generator in Channable. I can talk about later about that one if you like to, but that's a way to build a decent A/B test in the future. So if you want to know that, you can ask me later. So yeah, in this case, we have for a client of ours, it's Fietsunie. They sell bikes in the Netherlands. In this case, bakfietsen, it calls in the Netherlands. And yeah, what we like to test was that we use a different background color, and pretty easy background color, because of the competitors doesn't use it. And yeah, with that feature, you know, we use the feature in Channable for that, and yeah, it was a pretty clear answer. This was the result out of the optimization. So you can see everybody used the same stock image, but the only thing what we did was to put the background in. It was pretty cool results we saw out of it. So if you look at, I don't know if the screen is big enough, but yeah, we run an experiment in March, the whole month, and we get, in this case, it was a specific brand of a bike, and we got a product group within that brand. It was accessories in this case. So we saw a decent uplift in CTR within region A. Region A was the experimental campaign, and region B was, in this case, the control group. And yeah, what we saw, it was a decent CTR uplift. CPCs were way lower because people are often click on it. So, and also we managed to get a better ROAS out of it. So it was a pretty decent test. And of course, we are testing further with similar tests. And yeah, I think only this small things could make the difference. And if you see it like this one, it's not that many conversions, but yeah, I think it's pretty decent. So I will want to invite you to do similar things, but because you can make the difference with it. So it's pretty cool. So another poll. So this, before we dive into the last case, I would like to share with you, because it's more towards automatically optimize the product feed without any human interruptions. So I'm pretty curious how you guys are with this standpoint.
Yeah, so also here, I think what we kind of expect. So would you trust AI to automatically optimize your product titles based on performance? I think every marketeer has this, right? Because we want to keep control. And if AI does everything, do we still have control? I don't think so. So that's also the answer that we got for 70%. Yes, but only with human approval.
Okay, that's true. Because in this case, I would like to present is we let the AI fully control it. So that was a little bit scary for us as well. But in this case, I think it's was pretty cool as well. So let's dive into it. So this is our case, auto-optimized with shopping feeds with AI. And why we did this, because we had a challenge in most of our accounts. And I think it's, for many people, it's pretty clear why it's relevant because if you use rules in feed optimizations, in feed optimization tools like Channable, the feed optimization tools are used when you want to make broad standardized changes to a large number of products in your feed at once. So instead of writing individual rules for every case. So for example, if setting all product titles to start with a brand name or removing certain characters across all product descriptions. So bulk rules let you apply one consistent transformation or filter to the entire feed in one go. So they are perfect when you want to standardize data, enforce your structure, or apply a universal logic. However, these rules have some limitations when a feed is inconsistent or when important attributes are missing. So lookup tables can solve some issues, but they are not scalable, of course. So we went to the drawing table and defined a hypothesis like I showed earlier. So this was our hypothesis. I don't need to read it because you guys can. But what we like to do in this case is to once we had the hypothesis and it was clear, it was time to go to the drawing table. So first we had to decide which account would offer the biggest opportunity for the impact if we use this hypothesis. So we are scanning out through our client database, and we got to MediSafe. MediSafe is a medical retailer of medical stuff for doctors, of course. They sell their products globally, so it's a pretty big company, and they are based in Europe. So it's a pretty cool client. And of course, we want to know, which data sources we can use. So we wanted to use, in this case, untouched attributes. We don't use before. And we like to combine organic search data to enhance our setup. Of course, we need to build a proper testing environment, just what I told earlier. And how about and we need to think about how we can extract and combine the data in a scalable way. And of course, what we like to do is how we build a self-optimizing feedback loop, because that's the cool part, that let AI do the work in this case. So basically, to solve all these question marks, we created this process. We started by pulling data from the existing product feed that's connected to to our main Google Ads accounts. In this case, we have 2 Google Ads accounts, one main account and one test account. So we export all the relevant attributes from the product feed into our master spreadsheet. Then we bring in the data from Markifex. Markifex, this software allows us to gather organic search term data and relate it back to the specific products. So based on their landing pages, we can connect the dots, and at SKU level, we can bundle all this information together in one master spreadsheet. So for the next step, we push the spreadsheet data via N8N into OpenAI, and N8N connects the data, and OpenAI does the rest. So from each SKU, OpenAI generates 2 alternative product titles, one based on the additional attributes from the base feed, and another based on the organic search term data from Markifex. So if neither source is available, if there aren't data, OpenAI follows our detailed vertical specific instructions to rewrite the titles, allowing the system to learn from a past experience. So the 2 new titles then push back into the master spreadsheet as separate attributes. So this step builds on the bulk rules we used previously, but bulk rules are effective when feeds are consistent, but since real-world data often includes differences in capitalization or maybe abbreviations or spacing, that's a new approach. This new approach adds flexibility to handle those variations more smoothly in the end. So from there, the master spreadsheets import into Channable. Channable allows us to combine different data sources and automatically create 2 new product variants for each base product. So while doing this, we set up a new product feed within Channable. And we include the newly generated product variants in a separate product feed, which send to a different merchant center linked to our Google test account. So this test account is set up for testing alongside the main one, so we don't have create some competitiveness and which campaigns configured for a Geo-Split test, like I showed earlier. So finally, what is the cool part? We use the performance. We use different performance scripts in both Google Ads accounts. To monitor product level results in both Google Ads accounts. And if the product variations meet certain thresholds, we compare their performance. So the winning variants are pushed back through the master sheet and Channable into the main Google Ads account, ensuring only the best performance remain there. And the losing variants re-enter the loop again, where they get another chance to improve over time. So it's a self-improving system, and if there isn't any improvements, they're going back into the system. So it's improving itself over time. So in this case, we have this setup now, I think 6 months live now for our clients. In this case, since launching the self-optimized system has already created 123 winning alternatives. I checked that last Friday, and based on 300 SKUs, I think that's pretty cool because that's a pretty decent amount of the total stock and of total inventory in this case. So for the context, the products that weren't not adjusted had an average ROAS of 7.4 and a CTR of 1.2. The newly generated product, on the other hand, are averaging a ROAS of 10.2 and the CTR 1.8. And in this case was the conversion rate 12% higher. And in this case, we managed to get a lot of growth in their revenue because we are eligible for way more queries than we aren't used in the past. So that's pretty cool. We are pretty proud on that performance. So of course, I thought about, okay, maybe it's a little bit difficult case to show. So I like to give some tips to build similar things. So think carefully where you store your data. We did it with spreadsheets. It was pretty cool. It was pretty decent, but I think in the future, if we do it again, maybe we use BigQuery because it's way more feature-proof. Maybe you use other databases as well. But I think, you need to think that through and how you want to use it in the future. If we go to the second one, of course, decide how the algorithm will learn from the results and how do you identify a loser. Because you need, if you enter products in a system like this, you need to decide which products you want to bring in the experiment, how many clicks they need, how many sales they need to go in there. So I think you need to have these things clear before you start, and how, of course, how you define a loser. So it's just like in the hypothesis, you need to calculate that, and you need to write it down smartly, so you know when you are reaching your goals within that part. So in this case, we used a test account because the client has already a test account before we started. But of course, you can do it in another way. Maybe you can use a different. You can use different accounts if you have an overlap. Maybe, for example, in Netherlands and for Belgium. But what you also can do if Google pushes the new feature, I hope they're rolling out soon. Then it's way easier for us and for you guys to build similar tests. So I hope Jochem has some points about that later. I think that's basically it. Because of the time, I rushed through it. If you have questions, later on, of course, don't hesitate to ask. I will go on Reddit and will answer them when I have time. So.
Nice. Thanks a lot, Ruben, for showing us from the basic stuff what to add, because I still feel like we can everyone can make an impact still. Like a lot of those fields are still underutilized. So everyone have a look there, start investigating why it matters, start asking Gemini, ChatGPT, or anything else also on examples, because it will actually help you to get there. And if you're already using a feed management tool or anything, then basically that's the fastest way where you can already make an impact. And then the second case is I would say really, really advanced. But thanks for sharing that. And to me, it's really clear on how you did it. But I can also imagine people might have a lot of questions on how to do it. So that's also the stage we're going to enter. But before we do so, Ruben, of course, also showed how he basically optimizes titles and descriptions and what he is actually testing within Channable. So if you would like to do the same, we can actually help you out. And can also check it with your data. So we're actually able to also show you on how it would look like for your data. Saves quite some time, and you can test it for free there. So just let us know, and we're more than happy to help you. It's one of the new things we're actually working on, or have worked on. So we already see some great results. So don't hesitate to contact us, or to actually see on what's happening with your own data before you actually have to do anything with it. And then let's move to the questions. So I'm really curious on what questions we still have. And Jochem, share it.
Yes, see, only 2 questions. So let's start with the last one. It's about the splitting in the different regions for the A/B test.
Yeah.
The question is whether you were using a standard shopping campaign or a PMax campaign.
Yeah. So if you can circle back to the. I don't know. Can you circle back to the slide?
Yes, I can. Where do you want to go?
But to the results out of the experiment I will showed earlier. Yeah, we in this case also only work within these experiments within shopping, because otherwise there are too many factors to weigh in, and we only use standard shopping for that part. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, that's answered. Then a second one from Kevin. Do you reach the statistical significance on product level when €5 is the minimum and the ROAS lift is at least 10%?
Yeah, that's a great question. In this case, it was only products that have a spend of €5, so that they could enter the test in this case. So basically, from there we can see how it's improving. So it's not So the product needs in this case a bare minimum of a spend of €5 to enter. And after that, then you can see if they are entering the loop, in this case, how it's improving over time. And of course, we have thresholds defined, how many sales there are needed for, if it's better performing product variant or not. So I hope that answered the question in this case.
We hope so too. And if not, then Kevin, let us know.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you check the chat? Then a question from Morris. Do you think just changing the current title is too dangerous if you don't have a second or a test account?
I find it hard to answer. Do you think you're changing the current title is too dangerous if you don't have a second or a test account? Oh, in this case, okay, I understand. So in this case, I don't think so. It is too dangerous. So what you can do is, of course, you can use in this case a Geo-Split test. You don't need to do it with all your inventory. Of course, you can do it only with a few products if you like to. So I think if you do it smart way, then it's not a problem in this case.
Yeah, then another one around this testing from Babette. She mentioned that AI sometimes changes the title for you. Does that impact your test results?
I haven't seen instances that Google automatically changes the title. So there are features in Google Merge Center you can switch off. Then Google shouldn't change your titles, for example. So yeah, that's something you need to incorporate, of course. So yeah, of course, if that is happening, that it's influencing your statistics, of course. So you need to make sure that doesn't happening, and you can do that in the Merge Center.
Right. And I think she also specifically asked for if it adds information beyond the input that you gave. So is it actually kind of doing its own thing? What the big challenge or the thing was, right, that everyone is scared about?
I need to think about that.
So did you have an example or where basically AI put information in beyond kind of the instructions that you gave? So it went out of bandwidth on what you hoped for it to do.
Within your tool, for example.
And not only for our tool, but just in general, if AI did things you weren't hoping they did because they went out of the prompt or the instructions you gave it.
Yeah, of course, you need to set clear boundaries and you need to check it, what is happening. But in this case, of course, we can check the output from our system, what we have built for, in this case, ManySafe. We can see which titles they generate. And of course, we check it in now and then, of course. But yeah, if we see pretty cool results out of it and the title is maybe way off the normal title, but if it works, yeah, then it's for us is not a problem. Exception there, of course, but yeah, you need to check it now and then, of course. But yeah, in this case, if the performance is better, then it should be a problem for us.
That makes sense. And I think that's also the important thing, right? Putting a right hypothesis, knowing what you test, knowing when it's good and when it's bad. And from there, you can actually start testing, defining losers and winners. So I would like to thank you a lot, Ruben, for taking the time to create this for all of us and actually sharing on how you approach it. Because I feel like this is one of the challenges we see a lot, where to actually put manual control in and how to use AI actually to help you out without losing that control. So this gives us a really good insight. So thanks again. Again, if you want to see the questions, answers, go to our Reddit. That's where we will now keep on adding it. And also, if you want to talk with each other, probably you can. So that's the nice thing, of course, about Reddit. Besides that, we will be back and we'll let you soon know the next topic and of course send you an invite. So make sure to keep a lookout on our LinkedIn or on our website on Next Level eCommerce. So Channable, Next Level eCommerce, and there we'll share more on the next topic. And of course, you also have the opportunity to let us know what we should talk about. So if there's anything you struggle with, feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn or wherever you like, so that we also know what is valuable for you, because in the end, we're all making it for you and not only for ourselves. So help us out, and then we try to give you as much value as possible. So thanks again, and see you in the next one.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for joining Next Level eCommerce. If you want to see more, check out our YouTube or give us a follow on LinkedIn to get more e-commerce tips and tricks. See you at the next one.